What's up, everybody? Welcome to Power Plays Palace. It's a beautiful Wednesday. So, you know, we on it again. So let's look at the spy chart, see what we got here today. Uh, okay. Look like we got a little movement. As y'all can see, I let these numbers hold themselves up. The spy is respecting it though. Let's close out these previous days. Alright, that's interesting. I'm gonna tell you what you should have just noticed is that I didn't put, the yellow line is previous days highs and lows. Well, I didn't put a new yellow line there, which means that yesterday's high was a previous day's low, which is interesting. Let's go here. Turn that white down a little bit to there. Turn that white right there. Okay. So let's looking at the spy. Got everything ready for today. Look at that. Got some nice levels that we hitting. What's be interesting all the time to me is that you can back test and look at all this, and you can see spies still respect these levels. It's wild, but they do. All right, and as of with yesterday's chart, let's look at what we did yesterday. Oh, okay. So yesterday we had some pretty easy predictors up because of the range in the pre-market was almost 5 points. So we set some parameters there. But what happened is at the open yesterday, by the time we posted our video yesterday, SPY had already started making a move back up into this range. But it got up into this area and it hit the previous day's low and then it rejected and it came back down for the rest of the day. Previous day's low is 679.96. So it hit the previous day's low, went all the way up, then it came back down, retreated the rest of the day, kind of went sideways after about 140, stayed in that tight range. So looking at our chart from yesterday, what we projected, let's see what we got here. So we said if we get a rejection out of six, the near rejection out of the early morning push up, which ended up being all the way up to 679 to the previous day's high, that we want to enter around 678.10, 678.50, and then that's if the price tests pre-market high and fails. So that was the pre-market high. So it actually went past that actually, and then it did fail right here at previous day's high, and then it started to fall back, and then it fell all the way back down to 674.55. So it went up and it did reject. So if you put your stop above 679, then you should have hit all these levels. So overall, even though I called for entry at the break above 670, 870, at 679 and looking for loans above 678, 63. We went up, we tested, we didn't make it to 670, 680, but we did get all the way up to 679.96, which is right there at 680. So if you played that, you still could hit that first level, and that was because of the early retreat here. So you still could have hit that first level if you played it, off that reversal. Another reversal pattern right here. You can see it, and it pushed up. So, and then looking at the chart again, you could have played it back down 3 levels. The entry point all the way down to 674.55, which would have been right here in between the 675 and the 673.80. So you still would have had a pretty decent day if you'd have played that also. So give yourself a hand if you played the chart. We did pretty decent yesterday. Another day where we've been able to show that, just being consistent and disciplined can get you some nice returns. All right, so let's look at today's chart. See what we got here. So let's look at today's chart. So yesterday's range was 679.96 to 674.58. Now we're sitting even lower with our pre-market between 672.45 and 675.27. And that looks like a bearish continuation, and the trend probably shifted short-term negative. But we also approach the support levels from October, so the end of the month. So be ready for intraday bounce if 672 holds early. I think the key area to look at today is going to be 672 to 675, and that's why I'll be watching for confirmation. And the first thing I'll be looking at is SPY reclaims and holds above 675.27. I'm going to look and go long between 675.30 and 675.60. Put me a stop loss below 674.80, and my target will be 676.80, 678, and 679.50. And that'll reclaim that gap, from yesterday and pull everything back up close to that 680 range. And that'll show that the buyers are showing strength to take back that area, And for my bears, if we test that 675 zone and can't hold it, then that's a good area to probably look at shorten above 675.70 and target 674.20, 673, and 672. And that's around the rejection area. You look for the BWAP rejection or low high patterns to confirm that area. And you want to, and what it means is when you got lower highs coming in, lower highs, and that's what you want to be looking at. If you see lower highs and lower lows, then you want to see those as possible pullbacks. You want to look for wicks at the top, and that'll help you identify some of that, those pullbacks and those continuations. But my opening focus is going to be 672 to 675, and that's where we'll get the markets. A tent either going to be a reclaim or we might have a pullback a little further. And I'm going to wait for a solid candle close off the 5 minute, because that's what I trade, but, you can look at the 15, the hour if that's how you trade, and look at the volume, and then you'll be able to make the right decision. Now, keep your stop losses tight. And as you moving up, you're going to scale out at 25%, 30% increments on each level. That way you can continue to make profit as it's going up and as it's going in your direction, because it could be going down if you're buying contracts. And you keep, you'll keep a couple runners in there so you can increase your profits. And so, be patient, watch for fake outs, and set your top stop losses and trade your plan. These are my ideas. This is not financial advice, but if you like anything that I share with you and it helps you earn some profit on your trade, share it in the comments, like it, share the video, subscribe to the channel, and you can join us at Power Plays. Come to our Discord and then, hang out with us, trade for the day, see what it's like. All right. And so that's our trade plan for the day. And be careful. Make sure you trade your discipline and do your thing. Man, we out.